Have you been mentally programmed to be rich or poor? When you think about rich and poor people, there are lots of differences between them, but the biggest is how they think. Whether it's how they view obstacles or handle money, rich people see the world completely differently than those who struggle with their finances. In this video, I'll show you exactly what the key differences are and how you can develop these million-dollar characteristics too. And if you watch all the way to the end, you'll find out the simple mindset hack you can use to make it even easier. What's up, everyone? My name is Matt Matheson. I am a personal finance writer, teacher, and school principal. I'm also the founder of Family Money School, and this channel is all about helping kids and the parents who love them become money rock stars. Let's dive in. Now, first, unlike poor people, rich people are never bored. That's because the wealthy value self-improvement, so they are always learning and are often trying to develop new skills. And these aren't just any old skills. They are strategically chosen in order to help them continue to build even more wealth. They may include things like taking a class to continue to grow a skill they already have, reading a book to learn more about marketing or negotiation, or developing their ability to network and build strong relationships. And most importantly, crushing the subscribe button below. And how do they do this? Well, a ton of millionaires, in fact 88%, read for at least 30 minutes every day. Now, this not only keeps their mind sharp, but the emphasis on continuous learning means they're always a step ahead of the competition. Poor folks, on the other hand, well, only 2% of them set aside time each day to read. So what are they doing in their downtime? Well, 75% spend more than 1 hour a day watching TV. Now, this is something I've definitely been guilty of. Sometimes it just feels so good to plop down on the couch and veg out. You might be a bit worried that if you can't chill and watch the game or something on Netflix, you'll get burnt out. But don't worry, you don't have to give up altogether on mindless relaxation time. One thing I found is that instead of dropping the Netflix or sports completely, I try to limit my veg out time to an hour or so each day. Then I try to devote the rest of my downtime to building up my skills. As you do the same, you'll find the payoff is immense. Next, truly rich people rarely live a flashy lifestyle. Now, sure, there are the fabulously rich whose lives consist of private islands, yachts, and other ways to flaunt their wealth. But unless they were born into money, they didn't start out like that. For most people who are truly wealthy, they don't show off their wealth. That means they avoid spending on things they don't really need, and they most certainly don't waste their money on designer clothes, new cars, or insanely priced homes, especially if they can find a less expensive alternative. Poor people, on the other hand, often find themselves trying to give the impression that they're rich by buying trendy, expensive clothes, swanky new cars, or huge shacks. It's no coincidence that 65% of American millionaires live in houses that are currently worth less than $1 million. But that doesn't mean you can't have nice things as you build wealth. You just need to be smart about it. Buying secondhand designer clothes or cars that are 2 or 3 years old and homes that need a bit of fixing up will not only save you money today, they're smart money moves that will pay huge rewards in the future. And down the line, once you've made your millions, if you want to splurge on that flashy car or insane vacation, you can do so guilt-free and without putting yourself in a tough financial position. Okay, we're just about at the mindset hack you can use to develop these traits almost like magic. But before we get there, rich people see opportunities in the face of difficulties, and they focus on the potential rewards. Poor people, well, they see obstacles and they focus on the potential risks. In this day and age, there's never been a higher premium put on comfortable living and having things made easy. Whether it's robot lawnmowers who cut the grass by themselves. I gotta be honest, I so want one of those. Or ready-made meals delivered to your doorstep, which we've definitely taken advantage of when life has gotten crazy. People have gotten used to having things come easy. And like I said, I have too at times. Poor people in general avoid problems at all costs. They live with a focus on steering clear of tough situations in order to make their lives easier. And while wealthy people don't shun all modern conveniences, they do know how to embrace difficulties. In fact, rich people run towards obstacles because they know if something is hard to do, means not many people will do it. This allows them to either corner the market and gain a huge competitive advantage, or to build the precious character traits they need to find success. Rather than viewing tough situations as obstacles, rich people see them as opportunities for growth. And instead of focusing on the problem, they look for solutions to the problem. They know that the heart of any successful business is helping your customers find solutions to their problems. And if they can do that, they know they'll make a ton of money. At the end of the day, it's all about the perspective you take when looking at the hurdles you're facing. And the rich see them as chances to build the character traits and skills they need to win with both money and in life. All right, it's mindset hack time. Here it is, the change in thinking that will really move the needle in terms of building many of these traits. Here it is. Rich people don't care what other people think. People of true wealth are comfortable in their own skin. They don't feel the need to impress others with visible signs of their wealth. They don't dress to impress, drive flashy cars, or live in massive mansions. No, instead they oftentimes spend less than $100 on jeans. They drive Hondas and Toyotas that are at least 3 years old, and they live in homes that are valued at less than 20% of their total net worth. In other words, because they don't care what other people think of them, they don't have a compulsive need to buy things with money they don't have to impress people they don't know. This allows them to spend way less than they make, which is the exact opposite of what most people do. And here's the real game changer. What do they do with all that extra money? Well, rich people make their money work for them. Poor people work for their money. You'll find hard workers among both rich and poor. The difference is that rich people figure out different ways to make their money make a lot of money for them. Poor people, well, they keep their hard-earned money in savings accounts where it earns pennies on the dollar. Rich people take the money they save from living below their means and invest it regularly. They know that by not caring what other people think of them and sacrificing some of the finer things in life right now, they can get a lot more money in the future. In other words, they're able to delay gratification. Now, the less wealthy, on the other hand, well, they spend every dollar they earn on the things they want now. When they look at their financial situation each month, if they look at all, they see an empty bank account and think that's the problem. So they try to find a higher paying job or a side hustle to make more money. Unfortunately, this only leads to spending more and continuing to be disappointed that they have nothing left to invest for the future. Which leads us to a trait almost all rich people have in common. They know how to manage their money. Rich people are good with money. They're not money geniuses, but they know how to budget, and they always spend much less than they make. If they do spend using a credit card, they always make sure they can pay off the balance each month. Now, poor people, on the other hand, they rarely budget. This leads to them spending all their money, and when it's all gone, they use credit cards to spend even more. And then, because they can't pay off their credit card debt each month, the balance grows at an exponential rate, often burying them in mountains of debt that are incredibly difficult to dig out of. Now, when it comes to learning how to manage your money, there is no better resource than my site, Family Money School. I've got courses, freebies, and blog posts to help you handle your money like a pro and to raise kids who are money rock stars. And when it comes to money, rich people don't try to figure it out on their own. That's why the rich always seek expert advice. Now, rich people are typically well educated, but that doesn't necessarily mean they've got multiple degrees and letters after their name. But as we talked about, it does mean that they are lifelong learners. One thing I noticed as I got closer to graduating and then went on to get a master's degree was that I actually didn't feel smarter. I actually thought I would. After all those classes, tests, papers, and assignments, what happened though was just the opposite. The more I learned, the more I realized I didn't know. Rich people understand this, and because of it, they rely on experts to help them when they're out of their area of expertise. Whether that's money, the law, real estate, or raising kids. Poor people, well, they're happy with more, how should I put it? Amateur advice. They look to their neighbors, friends, and coworkers bantering around the water cooler for direction on how to handle everything from life insurance to diet tips. As a result, they become accustomed to accepting all sorts of opinions and often fail to research them to determine their validity. Now, not only does this prevent them from thinking for themselves, it leaves them vulnerable to all sorts of scams and risky financial moves. I mean, at the end of the day, the difference between being rich and poor is all about how you think. And the amazing thing is that you can actually learn how to be smarter with money. And what's one of the best ways to do that? Well, it's to learn from someone else's mistakes and then put into practice their hard-won wisdom. Which is why in the next video, I'll show you 3 of the dumbest things I've done with money, and one I narrowly avoided, so that you can learn from my stupidity and start thinking and acting like someone with true wealth. I'll see you there.